I'm Eddie Conway, coming to you from a community center in East Baltimore. And I have here with me now Kenneth, and I want to know what happens here in this center. Kenneth, if you will, can you tell me what the center does and what's your role in it?
Absolutely. So we are the GLCCB, which is the Gay Lesbian Community Center of Baltimore, and I'm the co-director. And so we've been around for 40 years. So we've been a pillar in this community, in this city for a while. We're most known for our annual Pride Festival, which attracts over 30,000 LGBT individuals from around the region. So we've been doing a lot of great work for about 40 years.
You know, one of the things, if you service people all over the state, Westminster, wherever, in your estimation, what's the population of transgender community?
I really couldn't speak to that. I don't know what the actual population is. I know that, sorry.
Okay. All right. Did I ask that question wrong?
Well, I guess the data that I have in my mind
Mm-hmm.
is because of the work that we do. We also do a lot of work, I'm sure Kenneth or Kevin or Keisha may have mentioned it. We also do a lot of work around HIV reduction. And so I know those HIV numbers. I know what, how those numbers are heavily concentrated amongst Black and Latino, transgender, and MSM, Black MSM, and Black and Latino MSM. So, but as far as to say what is the transgender community population or what's the SGL population, it's hard. I'm not sure if that's been recorded.
Okay. What's MS?
Men who have sex with men.
Okay, all right.
Right.
Okay. I mean, our audience will want to know if they don't.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
This seems to be a very nice looking space here. Would you walk around here and tell me what this is? I appreciate the fact that there's books around here and a book chain. So kind of explain to me what we're seeing as we walk around.
Oh, absolutely. So to start in this particular area, so one thing that's really important is to come in the history of the center, is that we recognize that this center has not historically been open and inviting to all community members. So we've been working, I've been now as a co-director for about a year and a few months. And so we've been working over that short period of time to really make the center open and run and owned by the community. So just to start, so the free book exchange is an opportunity for individuals who feel like they have something to contribute to that is important to emphasize the LGBT spectrum. So like you find history, you'll find novels, you'll find a lot of great information that will be important for the LGBT spectrum, which you may not find typically accessible in other spaces.
Let me just back up a minute. I heard you say it hasn't been in the past open to all members of the community. Could you explain that a little bit?
Yeah, so one of the things that we are really focusing on now is that this center needs to be more inclusive. The center has a history of really catering to middle-class, white, gay community members. And that has been a really oppressive shadow on this center, and therefore a lot of community members felt unwelcomed into this center. So we recently, with new leadership, recognized that we have to change the face of this organization. We have to redirect the priorities of this organization and start focusing and catering to people of color, transgender individuals, young people, etc. And we're in Baltimore City. We recognize the need. The need is not hidden. The need is not some abstract concept. The need is really clear, and that we had to redirect our priorities to meet the needs of this city. That's what we're focused on now, and meeting the individuals where they are.
My main focus is to help our community get services and resources throughout in the community. So health disparities is going on here in Baltimore City. Housing is going on here in Baltimore City. Well, our family members don't have housing, and we are that resources to help them try to find that housing and get what they need to make sure they have a healthy life. So my focus here is to make sure our family members, and we say family members. Most people say, most people call them clients or patients and stuff. We call them family members because when you walk in here, you're family with us. And that's to break that stigma of providers and not saying this is a clinic. We're not. We're here to help you get to your healthiest point of view in your life. And so that's my primary job. I started here 2 years ago as a volunteer. And then started their first outreach department here at the GLCCB, and then I moved up to being an actual case manager.
We also highlight LGBT artists. So every 3 months,
over here?
So there's 2 different artists we're highlighting right now. But yeah, every 3 months we select a different artist and we showcase their work to kind of give them a platform for them to be able to celebrate their talents and their skills. And so this is just an example of young LGBT artists showcasing their work. But for as programs, and it'd be important to kind of, at some point, look at the wall, the program wall, but we have 4 areas of programs. When we talk about program and services, I can kind of show you the space some more too.
Let me see the space.
Absolutely. So when we talk about programming, we're talking about 4 areas. We're talking about advocacy. And so an example of advocacy, while we walk past the restroom is interesting because we have, as you can see, we have gender neutral restrooms here.
Okay.
And so around advocacy, a new thing has happened where the Trump administration has just recently reversed the Obama administration's decision to allow transgender students to use restrooms that align with their gender identity. Well, Trump's administration again said that schools have the right to make their own decisions about if transgender students should be able to use the restrooms they identify with or not. So for us, that was an advocacy issue. So we went to the school board and we fought for 3 main things. One is to get a statement that saying that Baltimore City believes that transgender students have the right to use the restrooms they identify with. 2, that all schools need training, and that every school should have an adult liaison or ally to be able to support students who are LGBTQ. And so we won, right? So the school board just recently said they agree to meet all 3 demands, right? That's kind of the advocacy work that we do.
I'm the Vice President of Youth Against Oppression. We are a youth-led organization, the GLCCB. So we hold group meetings every Thursday from 4:30 to 7 o'clock.
So how many young people are you working with right now?
Anywhere from 10 to 20 a week, yeah.
So what's the problems, if it's any, among the young youth population?
So there are several. So like we have issues of homelessness, we have issues of mental illness, we have issues with education, help with tutoring, homework, things like that, and a lot of self-confidence issues.
How is it that the public can help you do what you're doing? Because I know everybody's interested in supporting young people. So do you have any ideas how the public might engage or get involved with what you're doing?
So part of it is that when we have a lot of youth, they don't have a lot of role models who are like them. So it's wonderful when we have a lot of adults come in and talk to our youth about what they do every day and how they live through their lives. Also being queer, LGBTQ, whether they be lesbian, gay, bisexual, pansexual, trans, genderqueer, non-binary. That's what youth need to see. They need to see themselves in real life and understand that there is life past the goals and past all the problems that they have.
Tell me a little bit about your work here.
So my work here started about 2 years ago. I just was a regular community member, and I was walking in need of a job. What was supposed to have been just a housekeeping job turned into office management, which led to me now being a case manager in the public health field. Basically just advocating for the community, specifically trans, me being transgender myself. So that was a need in the community, a need, someone that represented the community and wanted something better. I saw a vision, and a lot of other people, my higher ups, saw something in me. So here I am.
Okay, so in the community, have you been like networking among the transgender community here outside of this center?
Absolutely. So I rub elbows with a lot of people. I try to extend myself beyond the trans community. But as far as my trans people, yeah, I have definitely a big networking when it comes to them. I have a big following through social media, and also just by being out there in events and things that are going on in the community. I also keep my eye and ears open to what's going on when it comes to the girls of the trans girls in our community. There's been a lot of deaths, a lot of violence towards us, a lot of discrimination. We're invisible to even, for the longest time we were invisible to the LGBT realm. So I also here, we have our own Trans Baltimore, which is a social support group here that is open to gender binary, questioning trans men and trans women. That's something that has never been here at the GLCCB, and with the help of my staff, we also have now implemented that, amongst other things, as well as tag outreach. We are now doing tag outreach.
Explain that, please.
We go out twice a month, and we pass out safety tools like condoms, swag materials such as hand sanitizer, hygiene kits. And we do this kind of outreach out on the stroll, which is where the girls that are into sex working, that's where we do our outreach at twice a month. And we turn the center into what is called Trans Night, where it's open to the trans public, and this is their safe space. And we're here from 10 that morning until 4 that next morning. So.
Okay, I heard you say, though, that there's been violence and other harassment and other kind of problems. Is that pervasive here, and is the police not doing anything about it, or what's...
The police are one of the main resources when it comes to that violence. They are one of the victimizers, the offenders when it comes to the violence.
You're saying they're the perpetrators in some cases against the trans community.
They are one of the perpetrators. I noticed that when you have the police that aren't doing anything about it, who else is going to do anything about it? Like, no one's going to care. No one's going to take us serious. They don't see us as human. They don't see us as people. We have to fight for rights that we shouldn't have to fight for when we are just as equal as everyone else. There's nothing abnormal or normal about anybody. So, I mean, it's just like, in the trans community, we have to fight extra hard to get respect. And I think it's just sad. But when it comes to the police department, no, they aren't doing anything. And even contributing to the unhealthy lifestyle of sex work. I've witnessed where officers have sat on the stroll and have solicited the girls and been the same officer that'll arrest her.